Hello everybody and welcome back to the Little Things podcast, where we take a step away from the big picture and we look at all the beautiful things this life has to offer. Hello, I'm your host Alexis Scott and welcome to today's episode. I'm so happy that you're here joining me today in this lovely conversation we're gonna have about the 3 laws that you should live by. Now, different setup. Once again, I'm currently on summer vacation from university, so we are cruising, we're chilling inside of our our home bedroom. So here's this lovely backdrop we got going on. Low-key, very coastal vibes, even though I'm in the middle of Oklahoma. But we do what we can do to feel at home. So I have been slacking again. I have not posted, but I have some videos we're planning to post. So I'm very excited. And grab your drink. I have been drinking the Bloom energy drinks recently and I am in love with them. I have not had them before, and then one day I was like, oh, I'll have some. So good. So Bloom, if you're watching, love your products. We are talking about the 3 universal laws, which are part of a segue of the 12 universal laws, which are kind of laws to live by, how the universe works and stuff like that. So that's what we're talking about today, really. So before we get started, thank you so much for being here with me. I am very thankful that you are willing to take the time and sit and watch and yap with me. And if you want to learn more, if you want to reach out, even continue talking about this conversation, or kind of see what else is going on, have some more content behind the scenes stuff, make sure to follow the Instagram at thelittlethings.podcast and also the TikTok under the same name. And this is on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere you find your podcast. And without further ado, let's talk about the 3 laws that you should live by day to day. So I have been watching TikTok recently. I'm on it quite a bit. But I did an experiment, right? So I was going through TikTok and I was like, what if I wrote down everything I saw within the span of 10 minutes that is intellectually driving me and that really curates my brain, kind of feels like, what's going on up here? Is there anything I can take away from it and write it down in my journal? This is my little journal I have. I write all kinds of things in it. And I watched this amazing edit of this video and it's talking about manifestation, and it was all of these people who are all very successful in their own right in every single way, and they all talked about what you say is what you will receive. And every successful person that I have looked up to personally in my life has believed in manifestation. So pipelining that down, therefore I'm gonna believe in it, and I firmly believe that manifestation can in fact bring you your dream life, and it doesn't matter what religion you are or anything, and I've talked about it before on this channel, but I fully believe manifestation is a form of projecting your dream life you want to live, and that actually does have some science to back it up. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the science to back up manifestation because there's so many benefits to it, and manifestation is really saying, I'm going to become a successful person, and blank, 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 fill it in. That's what you're kind of manifesting it, and your thoughts of how you think and how you walk into a room and how you live day to day, and your thoughts and your energy that you put out into the world is representation of manifestation. Got a rhyme going. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's that representation of who you want to be, kind of almost the identity of fake it till you make it, but it really works, right? If you want to be like Blair Waldorf, fake it till you make it, and then there you go. That's kind of the vibe we have going on. I have seen manifestation in my day-to-day. I use it all the time. I wake up in the morning, I say my affirmations, and I've been trying to become more grounded in this and being very thankful for what I have. And so I remember applying to college in the time of the college admissions process, and I have my phone here to show you. It says, grateful for where I am, excited for where I'm going. And it's a photo of the beach in Malibu. And the reason that I put that is because I really wanted to go to Pepperdine. I was going to hop school. And because of that, I manifested that. I looked at it first thing on my phone. Same with vision boards. Vision boards are a form of manifestation and kind of just always being surrounded of what you want in your life and that you know you can achieve it and you know you can get it. I have multiple vision boards and I write down who I want to be in every section and like what they mean to me and how I can do it. And I think manifesting is a great way to kind of start the process of becoming who you want to be, achieving your goals. Then you're able to turn it into a tangible step-by-step plan, a way to actually perform it. So it's kind of like this dream that you have, and then the energy you put into it and the process and the work and the load is the reality. I was doing some research into this because I'm like, wow, I really want to learn about kind of being like, do your thoughts really contribute to what you have to offer in the world and things like that? And turns out your thoughts really do matter. And so we are going to be talking about the 3 laws out of the 12 laws of these universal ideas that kind of bring this together, that bring all of the woo-woo beliefs into scientific fact and reality. We're talking about the law of vibration, the law of attraction, and the law of action are today. So let's start with what the law of vibrations are. So to start, what is the law of vibration? So practically, the law of vibration states that everything, objects, emotions, thoughts have a frequency at the atomic level. And I have my computer over here, so if I'm looking, that's why. Down to the atomic level, they all have a vibration. Every atom vibrates at a different speed. That's how we have sound. That's how we have light, different colors. That's how we have things. And so the law states that we can attract what we want by resonating the same frequencies as our desires. So think about this. You walk into a room and you want to be the most happy person in there. You want the room to feel like a very safe and welcoming place. But you walk in there and you're automatically hating on every single person in that room. You feel insecure. You're like, oh, I look horrible. I don't want to see these people. Oh my gosh, all these people look so nice and I don't like them, or any type of negative emotion. That automatically is going to lower your vibrations. And I know it's very like, lower the vibrations. It's true. Because your energy that you give off to people can read it because of these vibrations. So you put out what you want to receive. If you want to be very, not even successful, but have a very fruitful life, you want to put out that thankfulness and that gratitude. Like, man, I wake up every day and I'm really thankful. I'm really happy for this. And then you're going to receive it. So kind of get what you, you receive what you give. It's in that sense. So everything has this vibration. And so if you want to match what you want in life, you need to match your energy. Even if it might not feel real at first, it will. It kind of is a buildup. You kind of have to gaslight yourself almost and just thinking, okay, I want to believe this, so this is how I'm going to do it. So it's considered the primary law because everything else is based on it. Because your energy that you give off and your vibrations you give off in the world are what's going to match it. So you can have this whole game plan of what you want in life, but if you're not putting in the same energy of your highest self or your highest way of living, then you're going to not receive it. If you want to have a very grateful life and have a life full of things and gratitude and good friends and good energy, you have to give that to receive it, right? Like if you're a very pessimistic person, you're going to be friends with pessimistic people. But if you're an optimist, outgoing person, you're going to attract those people. And that's what it's kind of doing. You're giving what you want to attract. A good example of this, if you ask someone how they feel, they're practically just telling you their vibrations almost, where it's a sense of their conscious awareness of their own vibrations, right? Your vibrations is, people say your vibe, that's where it comes from. And your vibrations that you give off when you ask somebody, hey, what are you feeling today? My vibes are kind of down. I'm not having the great day. Okay, so that's going to target the conversation to, oh, why are you having a bad day, and kind of bringing it down. But if you ask somebody, or somebody asks you, hey, how's your day going? And you say, oh my gosh, it's great. I'm very thankful. Life's great. They're going to be like, oh, if they actually do care, they're going to be like, oh, well, why is your day good? Why do you think, like, what made it so good? What made your week so good, your day? And then you're going to have a very thankful conversation. And I've even noticed this going into it. When I go into the day feeling very, like, groggy, almost just, like, kind of hateful, just angry for no reason, it changes my whole day. But when you change your outlook on, what you're doing your day, you kind of start to give a sense of like, okay, wait, I think I'm having a great day. life's good. Okay, a few things happened here and there, but overall everything's good. That's kind of what we're talking about. Like, your energy you put into the world is what you're going to receive. So with your thoughts, your emotions, your material objects, even, like if you put happy thoughts in your brain, good affirmations, good ideas, you're going to receive that back from the universe. And if you don't, you're going to receive like not the greatest things. So if you think, oh, everyone hates me, I'm not a good person, all these things, you're going to receive that from people because that's the perception you give off. But if you think, man, I'm full of gratitude, I'm very thankful, I have an amazing life, I'm growing, I'm developing myself, you have a good outlook on life, and then you perceive that in the world, in your relationships, how you act, your career, everything, you're going to receive it back. So the law of vibration really is at its core, your energy that you want to receive, you have to represent it well and put it out into the world. Because then everything else, every other law we're talking about is going to build on that. So it's the foundational base of this. So remember that your energy you put out into the world is what you're going to receive back. So now we're building onto it. So now kind of you have to figure out your vibe and your vibrations. Are you giving good energy or bad energy? And now we have the law of attraction. This is a good analogy for it. You can't receive a certain radio station if you're on a different one. If you want to be on the radio station 190 and you want to receive 96, you got to turn to 96. That's a good analogy to kind of represent the law of attraction. If you're wanting to attract abundance things, wealth, good friendships and things, you've got to be really tuned into it, right? A great way that I think about this is kind of in the content you watch. For me, I want to live a very wealthy, very fruitful, very, driven life, a healthy lifestyle. I want to be surrounded by loving, caring people. I want to travel the world. And I just have a very set kind of idea of how I want to live my life. And I watch content that receives that because I want to attract that energy in. I want to attract that goodness. And so I watch people like Fernanda Ramirez, Emma Chamberlain, all these different YouTubers and content that I watch because I want to receive that energy, because what you watch, the media that you consume is so important as well, and it will bring that in because you're watching that, you're constantly getting that media intake, and you think, wow, this is the normal. But when you're watching people who are bashing people and critiquing, I think a great explanation of this is like certain podcasts, right? And everyone who has a podcast, I respect them fully, but a great way to kind of represent this, if you want to live a very like healthy, mindful lifestyle, you're gonna want to watch like the Mel Robbins podcast, Emma Chamberlain's, once again, right? Gals on the Go, things like that, right? But if you kind of want to create this habit of just living your life and you don't really want to have that like intake, right? You're gonna watch things like people talking about the red carpet looks and bashing them who aren't even going to the red carpet, things like that, right? It's what you watch. Do you want to watch people who are bashing others and critiquing others, or do you want to watch things about becoming your best self? And that, like, either is up to you, but that's really kind of where you want to lie, and it's the media intake and what you consume. Even music. Do you want to listen to depressing music and then you're going to attract like depressing vibes because that's all you think about? Or do you want to listen to happy music with like high frequencies and things and good lyrics and just automatically like attract good things? So the law of attraction is really, what are you consuming? What are your thoughts and your feelings that you're putting out in the world? What are you attracting back from it? And it kind of, matches on top of it. What you want to attract, you need to give into the world. This isn't about like faking happiness. It's about being realistic with your emotions and learning how to regulate them. And this is coming from somebody who has taken a long time to become a very like positive, optimistic person. You have to really work on your emotions and like not just be like, oh, I'm happy and not be. You have to really think about it, think how, you regulate your emotions, your thoughts, and that's kind of the basis there, and then how you give that into the world and give that positively and that gratitude. Like, it's a gradual shift. You can't be pessimist and then automatically become an optimist because that's just not realistic. But if you're having this negative mindset, you have to think positively, like, okay, this is going to develop well, and work on it. And of course it takes time, but the law of attraction really just is you attract what you give. And so if you want to give goodness and fulfillment, all those things, you have to have those thoughts and have those abilities to think about it. And practically what you think becomes reality, going back to the manifestation. Now, of course, not all of this is perfect life, there is some negative sides to it and some critiques. So let's talk about that. Now, psychologically, you can confirm this as like confirmation bias and selective attention if you're just completely ignoring the negative side. So like you're just confirming, yeah, I have a good personality and it's going to be affirmed by these certain things, and not anything else is anything that contradicts that is going to affirm it. Or a selective attention, only giving your attention only certain things and then ignoring everything else. So in like the larger scale of it, psychologically, it can be seen as a negative thing. But what's really important is if you recognize every aspect of it, right? Like if you recognize, okay, these are the things I want to attract, but you're realistic with what's happening in your real life and thinking, okay, here's what's happening now. How can I get to this point? That I think is the most important, to not just lean in fully to like confirmation bias, because that way you're being realistic with the scenario and being able to get out of whichever scenario you are and get to that place you want to be. There is multiple things that this can lead to, kind of like group thinking, where it is like, oh, I'm not gonna take medicine because I have positive thoughts that this won't affect me. Think about it though in a realistic way. Of course, the law of attraction, attract what you want to receive, but don't just think, oh, because I think it's gonna happen, I'm just gonna ignore everything else. So if you think, oh, well, I have a positive outlook on life, that's never gonna happen to me, so I'm gonna ignore it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, be realistic with what's happening, be honest. But when it comes to kind of just achieving your dream life and your dream goals, that's where this comes in. So you want to attract the goodness, but also be realistic. Okay, so now let's talk about the law of action. So we've set our energy, we set what we kind of want, what our vibes are going to be. We've set the law of attraction, being like, okay, we're going to think positively. We're going to, give out this information. We're going to receive it in. Now we're going to talk about action. And action is the most important thing. So we're adding a third layer to this. So they're all building upon each other here. But action is the most important thing, because you can have a great mindset and think you're going to do all this, but if you don't actually take the time to do it, it's not going to happen. This is a great thing. You cannot manifest without action. It's not magic. That is the most important thing. It requires taking a step to mean it. So kind of circling back, if you have a goal, if you set vision boards up, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to manifest this. It's just going to happen day to day. No, it's not. I've been there. I've done it. I've been like, oh, I just put this on my vision board. The universe is going to give it to me. It's going to be fine. Nope, that's not how it happens. Here's the thing. You have to put the actions in. So you can have a vision board up all you want, but you should also have a game plan for those goals that you want to achieve. How are you going to reach it? How are you going to get to 50 million followers? You gotta post. You gotta put in the work. That's what it means. You have to meet what you're giving, right? So if you have this lofty goal, you can manifest it, you can think about it a lot, put good energy into it, but you have to take the actionable steps to do it. You can't just let it happen. It has like two subcategories. So I'm gonna talk about two different types of action. We have inspired action and forced action. So to start, forced action is doing something out of obligation or fear. Example, dread of going to the gym. Inspired action is following a genuine pull, trying to dance class on a whim and loving it, right? So forced action is, I have to go to the gym, but I need to go anyway because I want to create this dream physique and I want to take care of my body. Inspired action is kind of like, I'm inspired to go outside and go on a run because I feel like it, So there's two types of actions and both are good, but I think honestly, if forced action should be your main one, because it's a disciplinary instead of inspiration, and it's kind of like discipline versus inspiration. You want to work off discipline, not inspiration. So that's kind of what's adding to it. You want to work on that forced action and go from there, and that's going to be what's going to get you really far, but don't ignore the inspiration when it comes. So for example, if you want a new job, you're going to look and you're going to apply to jobs instead of just looking at it on your vision board. Like I said, if you want to get followers online, you're going to post, you got to put in the work, and it's going to come, right? You have to put in these actionable steps when you have this goal, because it's really showing the universe or God or whatever you believe in that you want to achieve it and you're putting in the work. So it needs to happen. That's what the law of action is. So you're placing your energy, you're placing what you want, and then you're putting in the actionable steps, right? And so they all kind of work together to create this very, good outlook on life. And I do know that this isn't going to be for everyone. This is not what everyone is going to believe. I understand that it's, there's faith involved. There's not like super scientific backing this up. And if you're a very scientific person, this might not be for you. If you're a very faith-based person, this might not be for you. But if you're somebody who is driven, who is in this specific, ideology that if I want to put in the work, I can get it. and I'm going to manifest it. I think this is some great laws to kind of, you know, base your beliefs on. And you don't have to believe it all. Of course, there's not scientifically a lot of proof on it. You know, the source material, like, there's not this ground proof reasoning behind it. But there is studies and like some science to back it up. So it's really up to the personal belief. But I think if you have a good foundation in these laws, it will help get you very far into what you want to do, and they will help you. So the law of vibration, the law of attraction, and the law of actions are definitely 3 things that will definitely help you propel in creating your dream life, but also be realistic and don't avoid everything that you need to do. So with that, I hope this kind of gave you some insight onto these certain laws. And of course, you know, and I think it's a good thing if you're into manifestation and creating this dream life. So I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your take. I'm a big fan of it, but of course not everyone is, and that's okay. So with that, I want to hear your thoughts and your takes. So let me know down below in the comments or anywhere, or reach out on Instagram. So with that, thank you so much for joining me today in this lovely conversation we're having about creating your dream life. And I hope you're having a great day, evening, night, whenever you are watching or listening to this. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!